Well, happy 4th of July. This is, of course, the Nathan Nephew Show. I want to thank you for tuning in, and thank you for tuning in to Red State Talk Radio. Once again, keep it right here. Lots of other shows, such as the At Odds Show, which you can listen to at oddshow.com or right here on Red State Talk Radio. Just want to warn you, before I get into it too far, Brian, my co-host on At Odds, actually is here in the studio with me. Truth be known, I just couldn't get him to leave before I started doing the show, so I offered to let him sit in. He promised he would be quiet, but of course, if you've listened to At Odds, you know that's probably not going to happen. He has an unnatural affinity with turtles. I'm going to try to keep off that subject, but I doubt that will be possible either. But no, in reality, Brian's good company, so I'm glad to have him, and I'm sure he'll add a lot to the show if he wants to. He has a microphone, he's all set up, so we'll see how that goes. I did want to start out, of course, it's the 4th of July, Independence Day. Most of America will be out watching fireworks, grilling hot dogs, bratwurst. I'm gonna have some bratwurst, I hope, with some mustard on there, but Brian likes bratwurst an awful lot. He's not getting any of my bratwurst, so I'm going to keep them all for myself. Anyway, most of America will be out grilling and celebrating the traditional American way and not really thinking about what the 4th of July is about. What is Independence Day? So to start out the show, I wanted to read just a bit of one of the best documents ever written, largely written by Thomas Jefferson, I believe, and of course penned to death by the editors, and he said a lot of his words were taken out, and I think it reads pretty well, so the editors did a decent job. But I'm going to read most of the preamble, because I don't think that we take enough time to reflect on the document and really what's behind the document and why we are able to celebrate the 4th of July as freely as we can for now. So, in Congress, July 4th, 1776, unanimous declaration of the 13 small united States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station in which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. And then the document goes on with a redress of grievances, which we see show up in our Constitution, long list of things that the king, the government of Great Britain, was not providing to the people, was not handling correctly. We hear taxation without representation, things like that, the Tea Party. It was that and so much more. The reasons that this country was formed, the reasons that we declared independence from Great Britain. And of course, when I say we, I wasn't one of the brave men that took took this challenge upon themselves. I don't know if I would have had the courage to do it. I don't know that we're in much of a different situation today than maybe some of these colonialists were in the 1700s.
Perhaps worse.
Yeah, and that's Brian again. But I think maybe it's worse. Certainly now we have Americans being killed with drones and things,
and spied upon,
and being spied upon. I don't think the King of Great Britain was reading people's emails.
No,
I don't think
at
so.
At that time, they would have been
calls.
reading all of their personal letters and communications. That's going on.
Yeah, it is for sure. So
we're taxed at 40% or more.
If you're lucky.
And that was unheard of.
Yeah. I think so.
I think it's worse.
But I'm not saying it's time for for a revolution right now for anything like the American Revolution.
I think you were.
I don't think I was saying that.
Yeah.
It's time to stand up, and I've said it many times, definitely on this show, and I know I've said it on At Odds with Brian. It is time to stand up now and peacefully say no.
Enough is enough.
We've had enough. We've put up with this as long as we are willing, and that is too damn long already.
Right.
No.
You can stay informed. You can vote. You can run for office. There's a lot of things that you can do to try to take back our country.
Yeah, I think there is still time. I think we're coming to the last door to be closed. I think we're getting closer and closer and closer as 1984 becomes more and more nonfiction.
Yeah. Boy, that's true.
We're getting closer to the end, closer to the point where it's too late. We see in Egypt right now, millions of people, I think 1.5 million, so I say millions, but
it's incredible, the photographs.
Possibly the biggest rally ever in
the
world.
history of the world.
Citizens of Egypt standing in the streets saying no.
Risking their life.
Absolutely risking their life, saying no, we're not going to put up with this Muslim Brotherhood dictator anymore. We're tired of all of these murders and things that you're doing. We're tired of the oppression. You've destroyed the economy. You don't know how to run an economy. Maybe you're a decent political group because you got yourself elected by force, almost.
And support
by the U.S. government,
right.
Which I will get into. Barack Obama has said some great things about this.
Jeez.
But we are not going to put up with it anymore. We're tired. We're tired of it. It's only been a year. But, well, much like people miss Barack Obama, right. Much like people miss George Bush, they're missing Mubarak, who was ousted, who actually in his, I think he's in a hospital. He stepped up and said, "Yeah, hey, Mohammed Morsi, I think it's time for you to step down now." So the former president of Egypt,
even he's saying, pack up your bags and get out.
What we did is the people stood up against Mubarak and were saying, we don't really like this dictator. And the United States waited too long. We waited for the Muslim Brotherhood to become one of the front runners before we really got involved and started pumping money and supplies in. So we helped the Muslim Brotherhood.
Which is telling.
Absolutely telling.
About
and
this
I don't think it was a coincidence.
No.
Similar situation in Syria.
And we can back that up by recent comments by Barack.
We can. And we might.
And we will.
We might.
No, we will.
We might.
We might.
No, this is my show. We might.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just kidding, buddy.
Why are these two big guys standing behind me and asking me to leave?
Yeah, and I didn't have to hire them. That's what's funny.
That's what's funny. They just don't like me.
They didn't ask for any money.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But, so the Muslim Brotherhood got in power a year ago. Mubarak fell. Mohammed Morsi took over, instituted all of his buddies.
With support by the U.S.
With support. And then, not that long ago, months ago, we're sending F-16s and supplies and guns and ammunition to Morsi, to the Muslim Brotherhood. Why? I don't know. Obviously, it's because our president supports him. Now, in fact, like you were saying, today, we have the military starting to take over. There is a coup d'etat.
Well, no.
Going on.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
You can disagree with that
Well,
if you want. It's the facts.
A coup is slightly different. These, the military is doing what the majority and the vast majority of the people of Egypt want them to do. I think a coup is slightly different. A coup is something that usually takes over a current administration and places a military dictatorship.
And you don't think that's what will happen?
Well, no, I don't think so. He's looking up coup d'etat.
Yeah, I did look it up, and it's a sudden overthrow of the government. So, yeah. I mean,
I don't know if it's sudden.
I think that's... Well, this is somewhat
It's
sudden.
been
I mean,
brewing.
it's been brewing, but it's only been a year. That's fairly sudden.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. If you think about the United States,
I don't know. It's fairly. Usually, you think of a coup and it's kind of bloody, and usually they wipe out the current administration and its
and you
staff.
you think that won't happen?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope
people-
it doesn't. I hope it doesn't.
People have been killed already outside of the administration.
I hope it doesn't.
In Egypt. Barack Obama today, or yesterday, I think it might have been, put out a statement. And you would think he would say, since we support democracy, apparently, in all of these countries, and we want the people to have a voice, apparently, in all of these countries, you would think he would side with the people who are standing up to revolt against a dictator.
Yeah, but he knows what's good for the Egyptian people, just like he does the American people.
Well, that's what he thinks, and he's absolutely wrong about this. Barack Obama, I now call on the Egyptian military to move quickly and responsibly to return full authority back to a democratically elected civilian government as soon as possible through an inclusive and transparent through an inclusive and transparent process.
That was a drone strike.
And to avoid any arbitrary arrests of President Morsi and his supporters.
Why would he do that? I just don't understand why he would do that. Why he would back that? I mean,
this was obviously before the news that I just saw.
There must be deals that were made and stuff that were involved that Barack is going to
absolutely.
lose.
They're good friends. They are good friends, but I don't know if they actually are good friends. I think it was Mubarak that the Clintons said were family friends, which was kind of weird. But first of all, this transparent process thing is hilarious because I can't think of one thing that our president has done that has been a transparent process. Definitely not anything the NSA is doing. Maybe I just missed it, but transparent to me seems like somebody who pays attention like I do should notice it. So,
or if you ask to see it, sure, here, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, look, we're transparent, so we'll just yeah, that doesn't really happen. With Obama, but he wants that to happen in Egypt. So we'll see how that works. The other thing is the people, I think, have a right, if they're not being governed the way they want to be governed.
The Egyptian people.
Right. They have a right to have the government they want. They may have elected this guy much like we elected Barack Obama, but if they, if a president happens to screw up and
doesn't really
spy on his citizens or maybe run guns to a country at the southern border and get Americans murdered and several citizens of that southern border country. Or if the president does things like use a group, an organization that is meant to collect taxes, uses them for political targeting, it seems like the people should have the right to get rid of that regime and possibly put in a regime that might actually do some good for the country.
Some social media is saying that top leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood have been arrested in Egypt. I can't verify that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump on that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No,
These two guys are starting to choke me.
It sounds like Morsi has been arrested by the military in the coup that the military is is performing right now. He's been arrested, and I don't know where he's at. I don't know if they've put him in a prison. I think they pretty much just isolated him in a room somewhere. There's been flight restrictions on some of the Muslim Brotherhood members, at least the political members. And I hopefully this can finish up without a civil war. I don't know that we'll be able to get through this without stupid U.S. involvement, first of all, and without a lot of bloodshed.
So far, so good. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, earlier, today he was saying, you guys better step down or I'm going to kick some butt. And he was playing chicken, the president of Egypt, and he blinked.
Yeah, earlier he did say that he was willing to die for his cause. So we'll see if that happens.
I'm hoping this could be a clean transition.
The other thing is, if it is a clean transition, somebody takes over who is not Muslim Brotherhood, it is a blow to radical Islam everywhere, I think.
And to Barack Obama.
And to Barack Obama, separately from the radical Islam comment, right?
No,
right,
I included him in that.
Yeah,
no,
okay,
I included him.
But it really,
say what I mean.
It's a blow to radical Islam. I don't know that they'll get the hint, but at least maybe it will show people in other countries that you can do this. What do we have in Egypt? We have millions of Muslims standing up, rejecting radical Islam.
Right.
That's exactly what we want. And we have that in this country. I mean, a huge majority of the Muslims here will stand up and say that radical Islam is not the way of all Muslims.
I disagree with that.
That's fine. You're wrong.
I don't see millions of
nobody's standing up in
Muslims
this country, but
and poo-pooing radical Islam.
What?
I don't see it. I see a few. I don't see the mass.
How many are there? A few. I mean, it's relative, right?
Yeah, but
it's relative.
We have a lot of Muslims in this country.
Okay, I don't know. I disagree with you. I think
the
majority of Muslims do not embrace radical Islam as a way of life
worldwide.
In America.
Oh,
I wasn't saying worldwide.
Okay, that may be true, but I don't see them standing up against it.
No, they would. We don't have a huge problem in this country with radical Islamists in this country causing problems. There's a few local areas. have a few. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. As
right
with
here in
anything.
Michigan.
As with anything, there's a few local areas that everything's a problem.
Right. Okay.
But I think in this country, the majority of Muslims would not stand with radical Islam.
And probably a majority of them come here to get away from that.
I'm going to take a quick break. I do want to talk about Obamacare when we get back. And the 4th of July a little more. I can never talk enough about the great country that we live in, and I really do mean it. I'm happy to be here. I'm proud of it. I got a cool shirt for the 4th of July. I'll show it to you later. So you can see me wear it later on, I think, Brian.
I'm not going to wear a shirt. I'm just going to paint myself red, white, and blue.
How's that different from every other day?
I'm not going to wear pants either. That's how it's going to be different.
Oh, okay. NathanNephew.com. And don't forget to listen to Brian at oddshow.com.
I will never forget the day my son Jeremy told me he hated me and slammed the door in my face. I'm behavioral therapist Janet Lehman. Behavior problems can turn the child you love and your life into a nightmare. That's why my husband James and I created the Total Transformation, the step-by-step program that shows you how to fix the worst behavior problems and get your child to respect and listen to you again. No matter what the behavior, defiance, backtalk, angry outbursts, disrespect, we can help you stop it. Now you can get the Total Transformation for free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. You can keep it forever for free.
Limited number of free programs available. Call now. 1-800-257-2873. 1-800-257-2873. 1-800-257-2873. That's 1-800-257-2873.
All right, welcome back to the Nathan Nephew Show. I am, of course, Nathan Nephew. In case you missed in the first half, my warning, I will warn you again. Brian is here, my co-host of At Odds, at oddshow.com. You can check that one out, of course, right here on Red State Talk Radio. Brian, how you doing today anyway? I haven't really asked you. I kind of ignored you for the intro of the show.
As well you should. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love Independence Day in this country. I love the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I have my flag flying always, but this time I like to put on "Don't Tread on Me" type of flag under it and run around the yard wearing my red, white, and blue paint.
Yeah. No, my new T-shirt actually is
that's all I wear.
It is a "Don't Tread on Me" T-shirt.
Really?
So, yeah, pretty excited about it. 1776 on there because that's a special day that nobody understands.
It's hard to
Just
find.
sad,
those.
Really sad.
It's fine. It's hard to find those in 27XL that I need.
It is.
Yeah.
It is hard, and in fact, it was hard to find it in my size.
What I should do is
just
get
happened upon it.
A tent that has that on it, and then just
wear the tent.
Yeah, just wear the
tent.
tent.
Could just wear the tent.
Yeah,
that's kind of mean.
I'm a big
yourself.
guy.
All right,
Cute,
well,
cute,
you know,
but big.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's the way God made me.
It is.
That
it is.
That and pizza and beer.
Yeah, I blame the cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
But
I blame God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Couldn't
be the fact that I shoved cheeseburgers.
It's still the
in my
cheeseburgers,
mouth.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Either way, he works in mysterious ways.
Obamacare, one of the best pieces of legislation
Absolutely.
that we have had in this country ever, because it will give everybody the liberty to pursue happiness, according to Nancy Pelosi.
Did you hear that?
So I'm pretty excited about that. I heard that. I heard that quote. I'm excited of my liberty to pursue happiness. I can't believe that we finally have that, and I can be a photographer.
Or
if
an
I
artist.
want, or an artist, or a musician. I would never be a musician if I had the choice.
No, that's obvious.
I would go.
Nate plays in the band.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, I did want to mention, if you are,
we're playing in New York City.
At
the Garden.
If you are in Michigan,
and
specifically the Mount Pleasant, Elma area, next Saturday, July 13th, Rock the Right will be going on at a park in Elma. A bunch of good bands, including mine.
Is it a freedom type of festival?
It's not. It's not. But it's free.
Free,
much like free healthcare. It's free to attend.
You have to pay.
Face painting, bounce houses, cool things like that. RockTheRight.com. It's in Wright Park in Elma. It's a lot of fun. We did it last year. Doing it again this year. RockTheRight.com. You can get your T-shirt. Rock the Right T-shirt with my band names on there, so that would be awesome. You should buy one.
I should.
Available in 27XL.
They do
just for you.
I doubt it.
Last thing, I'm running out of time. Holy cow! Obamacare, like I was saying.
You want to say something? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the politics of this bill are never ending. I think the bill has a date in it that it will be implemented in 2014. That by 2014. I'm sorry, companies that have 50 employees have to offer health insurance to their full-time employees. Anybody over 30 hours, 28 hours, whatever they've changed it to be.
I
don't remember.
30 or something.
Whatever. Well, what happened recently is Obama said, crap, the American people hate Obamacare because it's not doing anything I promised, and we have a midterm coming up in 2014, and everything I've been doing for the last 2 years has been positioning for this midterm to keep the Democrats in power so we can still control the American people and take away their freedom. So, what he did was extended the deadline of implementation until at least 2015, after the midterm elections, but it had nothing to do with the midterms. I mean, let's just believe what he says. It was just because, I don't know why.
Can a dictator do that?
A dictator can do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can a U.S. president do that when we have a statute that has certain time limits within it that were passed by a duly elected Congress?
Without knowing the actual wording of the bill, no.
Okay.
No. In general, when you have a law, somebody in the executive branch of government, i.e. the President of the United States of America, cannot, in fact, sign a paper that changes the law. Our president has done it many times. He has signed many executive orders
So
that are not in line with the Constitution, that fly in the face of liberty and freedom and due process of the law.
His business as usual.
Business as usual. It's what we've been dealing with for 5 years. It's what we're going to deal with for 3 more years. If we're lucky, it will be over in 3 more years in 2016. If we're not lucky and if we make terrible decisions like we did last time and we can't decide if we are libertarians or not, we'll end up electing another Democrat that will do exactly the same thing that our current president is doing, because we'll have this split vote. We'll have, woo, Gary Johnson, woo, I won't vote for anybody who's not 100% perfect, and I hate John Stossel now because he said something about spying, and so he's not in the group anymore. We can't be friends because I'm a purist. We really need to get over this label thing, and we need to do what is best for the greater good.
No, that's the opposite. We've got to do what's best for the individual, as the individual is the smallest minority.
I don't know about that. I think the atom is the smallest minority.
There's
I'm
even
for
smaller
atom
particles.
rights. Prove it.
We are.
Show me right now with the instrumentation I have in this room.
Oh, I'm showing you something right now.
And it's smaller than an atom. You're right. Absolutely right. All right, that's all the time I have. I want to thank you for listening. AdOutShow.com.
Hey, Nate, thanks for having me.
Show. Nathan Nephew.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Brian.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Right. Your thugs are taking me out now.
All right, see you next week.